families. Any other discussion points?
If I may, Mayor?
Yes, please.
So some of the major resulting outcomes that are being achieved is with the de-sexing program, there's also the community education that's provided by Australian Pet Welfare Foundation in terms of how best to manage particularly felines in their local environment, the things that as a responsible pet owner should be undertaken. And due to the de-sexing program, it will end up leading to the fact that there will be less breeding of cats that may end up as stray out in the natural environment within our community.
Thank you very much, Councillor William. Any other discussion points? Thank you. Then I'll put that motion to the floor. Those in favour, please raise your hand. And I see it's unanimous. Thank you. We'll move on to item 6, which is the Planning and Environment Court Actions Status Report. The recommendation is that the report be received and contents noted. May I have a mover, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Jonick. Would anyone like to speak to the relevant council officer on the court action status reports? No? I then open up for discussion. There being no discussion, I then move that the report be received and the contents noted. Those in favour, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Move on to item 7, which is the exercise of delegation report. This is a report concerning applications that have been determined by delegated authority for the period of 23rd of November 2020 to the 21st of January 2021. The recommendation is that the report be received and the contents noted. May I please have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Kunzelman. And a seconder, Councillor Deputy Mayor. Thank you. Would anyone like to speak to the relevant council officer on this report? No? I'll then open up for discussion. There being no discussion, I'll move on to the vote. Those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you. It's carried. It's unanimous. Item 8, which is a notice of motion, exemption for waste collection fee, Perga Aboriginal Cemetery. And it's a motion brought forward by Councillor Sheila Ireland. And that motion is that Council investigate providing an exemption for the waste collection fee for the Perga Aboriginal Cemetery located on Carmichael's Road, Perga, and provide a report back to the next Growth, Infrastructure and Waste Committee meeting to be held on the 11th of March 2021. So I'll take it that you've moved that, Councillor Ireland. And a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Madsen. I'll hand over to you, Councillor Ireland, to speak to.
The Perga Aboriginal Cemetery.
Sorry, Councillor Ireland, could you turn your... and start again. Thank you.
The Perga Aboriginal Cemetery is a reserve and the trustee of the property are the Perga elders and descendants of the Aboriginal Corporation. Now, Council doesn't provide bins in the Hardings paddock, so we expect the people who go in and camp or caravan there bring their rubbish out. And they bring it as far as the cemetery and throw it on the footpath or into the cemetery. And so the elders are out there every week picking up. So they do have a bin there that at some stage Council has tried to help. But now it has come to their attention, they've been told that they will have to pay the waste fee. Right. So I'm just wondering if we would look at, seeing that it is a Crown land and is held in trust, that we would look at an exemption for waste bin collection, please.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Ireland. I'll open it up for any discussion. No, I think it's a great motion. I look forward to the report if it passes. Those in favour of this motion, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you, Councillor Ireland. May I move on to item number 9 from Councillor Andrew Fechner, and that's a notice of motion on overgrown council parks, reserves and footpaths. And this is a notice of motion submitted by Councillor Andrew Fechner concerning overgrown council parks, reserves and footpaths. I'll probably get you to move it, Councillor Fechner. And before we, and then I'll get you to speak to it. So you'll move that, and a seconder.
Just to clarify that I'll be moving A, B and C.
Together?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I see that Councillor Fichtner has moved it, and a seconder was, I think, Councillor Milligan. Thank you. I'll let you, if you want to read out the motion and speak to it.
Yeah, so just by way of background, over the last several weeks, significant community concerns have been raised about the overgrown conditions of many council parks, reserves and footpaths following recent rain. It's appreciated that Ipswich has experienced a relatively wet summer, and it is acknowledged that council staff have worked diligently to mow and maintain parks across the city. However, it's important that council endeavour to ensure that during high growth periods, our open spaces are maintained to a level which meets community expectations in a cost-effective manner. It's obviously apparent to all of us that sit around the table this morning, based on the huge influx of correspondence from constituents and the outcry that the level of service wasn't meeting community expectations this summer. So in those recommendations, there are some very pointed and specific questions asked, so that we around this table can better understand what goes into this and how we improve our service for next summer. And that initial motion A, you know, to try and just clear that backlog, to identify where those constraints are, those bottlenecks are in the current program, to clear those, and then to look forward to the future to see what we can do better moving forward.
Thank you very much, Councillor Fichtner. I'll now, would anyone like to speak to the relevant council officer? No? I'll then open it up for discussion. Councillor Ireland.
Mayor, I had a phone call from a resident of Redbank Plains yesterday. She said that she's got a petition with 900 names on it. There's a huge Facebook page down there that they're saying people are out mowing themselves because their children can't walk on footpaths. It seems that Redbank Plains may be at the end of the line, so the grass is fairly long, but certainly would hope that we're going to get Redbank Plains at least whippersnip fairly soon. The Facebook page is alive and well, and you know, they're not taking the argument that we're doing the best and that there's been rain, and they're not accepting those reasons. So certainly support Councillor Fichtner in his petition.
Thank you, Councillor Ireland. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Just concur with Councillor Ireland's comments and absolutely agree that suburbs within Division 3, like Redbank and Collingwood Park, somehow seem to be last on the list, certainly evidenced by the photos that residents are sending through.
Thank you. Councillor Kunzelman.
Likewise, Division 4, getting lots of comments from residents about overgrown grass, and they fear snakes and access issues and so on, as you'd expect.
I think we've had a lot of discussions as a council, and I thank Councillor Fichtner for bringing this forward, because we've been swamped with requests from residents, phone calls, emails, social media, asking for us to do this. And I think asking, the motion A is that the CEO be authorised to take immediate action to clear that backlog of overgrown council open spaces, making the required budget amendments. I understand the council officers are working very hard, and they work on a 9-week or a 6-week schedule. That's clearly not meeting the needs of the residents. It's clearly not meeting it. So we do need to change how things are happening. It happened last summer, it's happening this summer. And I'm just letting the residents know that we've heard loud and clear. So this motion that Councillor Fichtner is putting forward is asking that a report be prepared, which includes an update on council's mowing activities over the 2021 summer season and how these activities compared to previous summers. The next part of that motion was that a number of complaints have been received by council about overgrown council open spaces, and that the report also give information on the number of council staff and contractors engaged to respond to the overgrown council open spaces over this last summer season, as well as provide us with options which may enhance council's response to the high growth periods during the consideration of seasonal variations in established mowing schedules, and then that be presented next month. And I do note the areas across all of Ipswich, but in particular I do see Redbank Plains, Wilbur Park and Collingwood Park, where I get the most number of complaints from residents, very worried about their kids and snakes and wildlife in the long grass. So thank you very much, Councillor Fichtner, for putting this forward. Councillor Madsen.
I just wanted to add that I think there's two clear points here that the public in Ipswich are pretty unhappy with it because they're worried about safety and safety of children, and I believe that's justified. And the other point is the community expects council to do better in this area. So I am very happy to support the motion before us, and I commend Councillor Fechner for his great style in producing it, because we need to do better and we need to provide a safe environment for children.
Any other discussion?
Through
Yes,
you,
yes,
Chair.
Councillor Johnny.
Just wanted to thank Councillor Fechner for bringing this motion to committee today. Speaking on behalf of our residents in Division 2, it's definitely required, so thank you.
Thank you very much. You're always very active with the residents, Councillor Fechner, so thank you. There's no other discussion. I'll put the matter to the vote. Those in favour, please raise your hand. It's unanimous, and I think we're all looking forward to that report, and just letting residents know that we've heard you, we've listened to you, and we wait eagerly for the organisation to get back to us on how we can improve things. And that's the final matter for today. So I will now close the meeting at 9:26. And we have our 10-minute adjournment, so we're back here at 9:36 for the Governance and Transparency Committee.